Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back to work in this board book journal that I started. We're going to talk about something that we're going to put on this side of the page, and then I will show you how I'm going to bind these, but just so you know, it's a hinge. They're going to be hinge bound, so it's probably something you've seen before. It's nothing shocking or new. But anyways, first in the shop, I have these cute little gift card holders. And you can see here is a gift card, goes in the little pocket. This one slides out easier just because I have a tag up there. But yeah, once you decorate them, it is a little harder. But you'll just get the wooden holders themselves, so you know, with no card in them, and they won't be decorated on top. So I'll go ahead and take this off so you can kind of see. This is just a little spot. You could hang it on a tree if you wanted, or you know, it's just a fun spot to like tie a bow or whatever. But anyway, they are cut on our laser printer, so you can kind of see. I don't know how well, but there is a pocket right there to slide the card in and out. This is my one that has dry gesso on it, but any gift card. We also, there's a picture on my Etsy shop with money in there. You could put, you know, $5 bill or something like that in there as well. You don't have to have that gift card thing, but you can decorate them up all kinds of cute ways. There, it comes with the package on the front. The cups are all the same. Candy cane on one, and then this one has the snowflake, and the back is, the background and everything is all the same. It's just they are different on the little, you know, the part that goes around the little coffee cup. They'd be great for teachers' gifts, or if you have teenage grandkids, this is like a perfect gift for them. At least I think. Teenagers can be very difficult, I think, to buy things for, unless there's specifically something they ask for. But anyways, those are in the shop, so you'll get a set of 3. All right, if you're interested. It's just a fun little thing that's quick, and if, you know, last minute kind of a gift sort of idea, or a teacher gift, or whatever, like a Secret Santa or something like that. All right, so what we're going to do is I have just a piece of deli paper, and you can see this side is shiny. I'm going to actually use this side, even though it's shiny, because I have tried it and it seems to work fine. So I'm going to just go with what I have. I just wanted to show you guys how I did it before I start using what I have, because I know there will be questions of, well, how did it get like that? So we're going to just show you how it got like that, and then we will use it so you can see how maybe you might want to use it. I mean, obviously, it's just more kind of going to be, you know, like a decorative collage-y type paper. So you can use it in any way that you would use any collage paper. It's just on that deli paper, and it's kind of that crinkly sound, you know, it's fun. So it doesn't crinkle a ton once you're all done, so that's the only kind of drawback, but it's still kind of a neat paper. You could do this on the packing paper as well. I think there isn't that much difference. I just had a piece of this the other day, and I was playing around with it, so I decided I would show you guys how I did it. So how are you all? I hope you're fantastic. I hope you had a lovely weekend. It is Monday for me. I know it's Tuesday for you, but you know, we're just trucking along. And then I did things like maybe a white piece of paper with something interesting on it. Like I do like, you know, I do like the math thing on paper. I don't like to do math, but I do like it on paper. The one thing I would have to say is you might want to use a liquid glue, just because this is that kind of slippery surface, and it just might turn out better if you do that. But you don't have to. You could use a glue stick. It just I would be afraid it might peel off. But we're going to do some other stuff to it, so it might be fine. I just used liquid. I just felt like that was going to hold better. Maybe some doily. And you could use, like, if you don't have these snowflakes, these are in my Etsy shop, but if you don't have them and you don't want to get them or whatever, just use whatever you have that's kind of some white pieces, like, you know, doilies or tissue paper, or, you know, whatever that is in that kind of white neutrally tone. You could do some blues too. That would be pretty. Just trying to sort of stick with the neutral icy stuff for this journal. But you could also do these for any style of journal. So you might want to use pinks and whatever. Like if you're doing a shabby journal, that would be cool. You could do it more Christmassy for a Christmas journal. Whatever you like. Any style you like. It's just a fun paper to play with. And this was just from me playing around the other day. I didn't see this one anywhere, believe it or not. I usually do steal other people's ideas because you do run out of ideas. My goodness. Or maybe I don't steal them, but I make them my own in my own way. Just the idea is hard to come up with some days. But this one I was just playing around, although I'm sure there's people that have done things very similar. I think it's all just about been done with the paper thing. But we always have new people and, you know, you forget stuff. So, yeah, this is that rice paper, mulberry paper. I think there's all kinds of names for it. But it's basically super thin paper with some type of fibers in it. And that's really all that matters, right? You could do the same thing with tissue paper. It doesn't have to have the fibers because we're adding other stuff and we're going to add gesso. So a lot of that you're not even going to see anyway, but the tissue paper kind of gives it a neat texture. So I'll put one of these over here. So some on top, some underneath, however you feel like doing this. There's no right or wrong, that's for sure. Because I probably wouldn't do it if there was. It is a nice day today. It is sunny. I think it's going to be almost 50 degrees. It was very cloudy this morning when I got up, but it has definitely gotten nicer. I say that and it'll start to darken up again, but whatever. The sun was out. And it made my brain happy. Husband and I ran some errands. He's been working on those gift card holders. We sat yesterday and glued them together, cut them, glued them together, all that. He's doing some more, but I just thought those might be kind of a fun little something and a quick, easy gift, but super cute and looks like you know, tried to do something fun. I think they're fun. I love gift cards. I have no qualms about getting gift cards for a gift. I know some people feel like they're not very, like, personalized or whatever, which I guess that is true to an extent, but I love it because then I can get what I want to get. Because there's always stuff, especially when you go Christmas shopping for other people. I always find stuff that I'm like, ooh, that would be cool, but, you know, I'm not going to buy it because I got to buy other stuff. So it's just fun to be able to go buy what you want to buy. Sometimes. So I like getting gift cards. I need to say hugs and blessings. Hugs and blessings to Annie. Black Coffee and Wildflowers, or Tamara. Diane, Paper Adventures 5181, and Pama. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for kind comments. I appreciate all of you so much. So much. And welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to those of you that have been with me for a long time or a short time. I do so appreciate all of you. And if you could please check that like button, make sure it's working. If the hype button exists on your phone, computer, TV, whatever, I would love it if you would hype the video. I've had all different reports. So some people say they can't do it on their computer or TV, which I understand that. And as I have said, I've told you my dilemmas. I tried to hype Nancy's videos, and it's never there. The hype button is never there. But then when I do Mitzi's, quite often I can hype her. So I don't know. I have no idea. But if you see it, if it wanders by your path, I would love it if you would hype it. Many of you have said you've been able to do that, and so thank you. So sweet of you. Yeah, so I'm not really sure why it's on some and not on, I don't know. Because I read the information on it, and it sounds like it's supposed to be available to anybody that has less than, I think it was 50,000 subscribers or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not totally enacted yet. I don't know. For everybody is what I mean. But yeah, a few of you have said that you're hyping, and I really appreciate it. So sweet. We did have a very nice weekend. Fairly calm, nothing much going on, which was a little bit nice. We've had some kind of busy ones, so it was nice to just be able to get some stuff done I wanted to get done, and those are always lovely. That's a lovely feeling when you can do that. I think this needs to go up here because I already have some down there. It does kind of need some there. But anyway, this is what I did. I just stuck stuff down all over it. All over. Put some more algebra over there. And I do like some of the brown paper showing through, but it's kind of muted because I'm putting the other things on top. And I think now that I have this tissue here, I can definitely use some glue stick without a problem. And I did use the glue stick on the tissue, as you saw, and I think that'll be fine because it's thin enough. It's not really a big deal. So what kind of things have you guys been up to? Anything fun? Do you guys do a lot of, like, I know a lot of you say you're introverts, so I'm sure your answer is no, but do you do a lot of, like, holiday parties or things like that? We used to do more when my husband was working full-time at the hospital, because there were always things we needed to go to and whatever for that, but not anymore. It's actually a little bit nice, although it would have been nicer then, because that's when I had small kids and, you know, trying to either get a sitter or take them or whatever. I don't know. It just always seemed like just made things crazier. But yeah, we don't do as much of that anymore. We'll go to probably a couple, but and you can leave some hanging off if you want. It kind of looks cool, depending on how it's going to get used, of course. Okay, so let me show you kind of that. I mean, I'm sure you can see, but... And then we're going to do some gessoing. Gesso. And I just use this, I just use basically whatever gesso I can find that isn't outrageously expensive. That's how I buy gesso. But this is the one I'm using right now. I really like this one. It's got a little texture in it. It's very nice. I mean, they all kind of do, but that one, I don't know, is even better than a lot of other ones. And I like the consistency. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. I've had both issues. So then, obviously, we're just going to go over. And again, this is going to cover up a lot of stuff. But as we've talked about lots of times, it's kind of the nature of the beast with the layering. I kind of like to have more around the edges maybe. And wherever you want it to be thinner, make it thinner. Or thicker, whatever. It's just gonna kind of, I was scratching that off and I didn't even realize it. It'll help hold a lot of that down, is sort of the purpose of it. And it kind of looks cool on the doilies and stuff anyway. All right, so I did that. And then I took some Salty Ocean, I think it was, and Tumbled Glass. Or was it the Peacock Feather? No, it was the Denim. The Faded Jeans. Is that what that's called? Every Time. I can't remember the name of that one. Every Time. I think it was those two. But you could use any colors. Again, we're back to if you're doing something that you want pinks, then do pinks, right? Just we're doing the icy thing. So, and then I just did some light. That one does crazy spritzes. Okay, that's good. We're done with that. And just a little bit. And then I even took, because I got a big heavy spot like that, I even did this kind of thing. Just to mellow it down a little bit so it's not hogging over everything. Because it's a real hog. Okay. So that is what I have. And then once it dries, it is kind of crinkly, and I'll show you. But it's not as crinkly as the deli paper all by itself. So I'm putting that aside to dry. I'll try to wipe a little bit of this off my hands. So I have this piece, and I've already cut a hole, but you can see it's kind of still crinkly, not super crinkly, but I want it on the back of this. So I'm flipping this over this way. Let's get it together, Amy. And then I cut my hole already just because that's easier. And I used my old Creative Memories, these cutters. But you can use any circle cutter that you have that will work. Obviously, it has to be able to reach in there. And that's why I like these and I still use them. Because you don't have to only go like as far as a punch will let you go. You can put it anywhere. That's why I keep those. And I don't know if you can get them anymore because, you know, that was a long time ago. That's like 20 years ago or more. I'm going to put a little of this in here just for some, a little more something going around there. And the other thing I might do is put a little more gesso right around, set this there for a minute while it dries. I put the ink there, but now I'm thinking I want gesso there. Back and forth we go. I just think it'll be better with a little more gesso in here. I like the way there's stuff coming over the window though. I definitely like that from the front. Yeah, so this is going to be that hinge binding where you use 3 pieces of fabric. You can use paper too, but we're going to use fabric. I want to make sure it holds together. 3 pieces of fabric on one, and then 2 pieces, and then 3 pieces and 2 pieces, if you know what I'm talking about. It's okay, I'm going to show, so don't worry that you don't know if you don't know what I'm talking about. But that was very popular for a while, and everybody was doing that. And I really like it because it I feel like it works very well, is sturdy, holds together, which is sturdy, Amy. But you know what I mean? I think that it's a great binding system, and it's kind of interesting looking and a good way to do these. And I have said before, I'm not a fan of the rings, but I don't, you know, if other people use them, it's not that I don't like their journals. I do. I just myself am not a fan of the rings, but that's just my thing. I like to preface that because I know it's not that there's anything wrong with them. I just don't love the way when you're turning the pages, it kind of catches. I'm going to put some of this gesso on here too, this side, even though I like the brown paper, but just finish it off a little bit more because I kind of just did the sloppy. I wasn't sure how I was going to use these. Okay, so I think I can still glue it. It won't be a big deal. The biggest thing is we might get some of the white on the back of this, but I'm not that worried about that either, because it's just going to probably get glued down everywhere. So it's going to be right up to that edge, I think. So we just need to take off like, I'm scared to do anything yet. I might just glue it first. This is the first time I've done one of these, so it could be a complete disaster. I don't know. We're going to find out together. And I've watched a few people do board books. Most of them are, I think I mentioned, either held together, like stayed together, and it's more like a glue book with just like the pages decorated with sort of flat things, because obviously you can't get it very thick if you leave the book in one piece. Or the ring bound. Those are the only two ways I've seen it done. So I don't have a lot of context to go off of. So I've just been sort of winging what I'm gonna do with it. And yes, that was a lot of glue, but I want to make sure it gets very nice and stuck down without issues. No issues. And this is going to be a little bumpy, lumpy bumpy on this side too, kind of like the other side. And again, this journal is going to be more of, I would say, like an art piece. I mean, because I'm going to put tags and stuff, so it's going to have some writing space, but I wouldn't call it a big writing journal. These types of journals seem to be what people are wanting, so that's what I'm creating right now. Because I have people on my list that I want to get journals to. Plus, this is kind of my favorite kind anyways, honestly. But luckily I think, I don't remember, something like 3,000 or some odd videos. So there's definitely lots of videos where I have made, and I have playlists for all my journals too, or most of them anyway. Maybe not in the beginning, but where I've made more what you'd call classic, you know, like writing journal type of thing. So there's definitely ideas on my channel if that's what you're looking for. I've got some nice blue fingers. Aren't they lovely? Okay, I'm probably going to let this set, I think. So I might pause until I get it dry. So it's just going straight along this edge. And that is the book is straight there, and that is because we're doing the binding, and I don't want it to have a whole bunch of stuff sticking out right there. That's going to make it difficult for the fabric to stick, because that would be a waste of our time. Oh, I wanted to thank you guys for all your well wishes for my daughter. That was so sweet of you. She started her job today, which is Monday, and I think she's excited, nervous and excited, but I think she'll do well there. It's right up her alley, because they do like clothing, you know, they have people come in, clients, and then they design whatever the clients are wanting, and then it can be put on shirts or, you know, for a website or whatever the thing is, posters, all the things. And they make all the stuff there too, so she'll get to do the process all the way through, which is what she likes to do, rather than you design it, it goes away, and you never really get to see maybe the finished product, which is kind of what she was doing. She likes to follow it all the way through, so I think it'll be a good fit for her. See, I'm just messing this up because my hands are sticky and wet, and this is wet. So I'm gonna let this dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and it's probably not 100% dry, but I think it's dry enough that we can tear the edges, and that's going to be a slow, careful process, because we kind of want, I don't want it a hugely more than what I already have, and then plus I'm also tearing through like some snowflakes and things like that. So just take your time if you do this. You don't want it to get too crazy, but you don't want it not enough either, because obviously you don't want to see the board book underneath if you can help it. I mean, you could always patch it or whatever. Yeah, those snowflakes are kind of hard to tear when they're in there like that. And you could make a piece the size that you want and then collage it kind of like that little one I just did. But like I said, I was just playing around with this and wasn't even totally positive if it was going to work. So I ended up with a big piece here. Which is the way these projects go sometimes when you're not sure what you want to do. And that, it's kind of tricky here, because your hand only bends so far. I'll just tear those off. So that piece is free now, and I can use this side still for something. And I'm fine with that little bit sticking out. Okay, I think that's good. And it's stuck nicely. It's lumpy and bumpy. It's not perfectly flat, but I mean, that's sort of the way it is. And then there might be spots you gotta fix up a little where the paper's separated a bit. So the hinge part. Let me grab. I have just some cotton. Like, this is actually dish towel. So you can use whatever. Where did I put the rest of the board book? Oh my goodness. I just had it here. Oh, it's under. It's like if it was a snake, it would have bit me. All right, sorry about that. So I have another one of the pieces here, and this one I haven't done anything to, which you can clearly see. So you're going to just take strips of this and make tabs. So I've ripped this roughly probably 3/4 of an inch, and then just take a piece that's like maybe 1.25 inches, or I don't know, somewhere around there, because you're just going to make tabs, and then they're going to attach onto the front, and then they'll attach to the back of the other one. So the best way to do it is when you put down your tabs, you'll put one, and you're going to want to think about placement of things and things like that. I don't mind these little these white pieces if they're over something a little bit on this cover, because I know that they probably will be, but it's sort of that way sometimes with covers anyway. When we cover the spine, we might end up sort of covering a bit, but on your other pages, you're definitely going to want to think about where you're putting your hinges or your decorative pieces, because then it will affect where your hinges go. And I'm not going to worry about the front right this minute, because I'm just trying to show you guys how this system works. So then you would have your next page. So I've got 3 tabs, and they would be glued onto the front, or if you want, you could stitch them. Probably not on here unless you're going to do it by hand with maybe an awl and stitch it. I think the glue will work just fine. Then you're going to put your next piece down, and I'll probably decorate mine first, just like I've decorated these ones. Then you're going to glue those tabs there, like that. And then you're going to take 2 tabs, the same length and everything. And they'll go on to the front of the second page. So this is the first, this is the cover, 3 tabs on the front, then 2 tabs onto the next one, like right there. You want them to go in between the other ones. So in the end, you'll have tabs all the way down your spine. So then the next one will go like this. So that's the second page. It's on the front of the second page. So you're always starting with them on the front and then ending with them on the back of the next page. So then my next page comes along, and it goes down, and you're going to put 3 tabs out the front of that one, but then these 2 tabs, see, let's do it this way so you can see better. It's hard when they're sticking out. So these will be glued down. This one will be glued. This one will be glued. So those 3 tabs from the cover are going to get glued to the front of the second page. Then the third page comes, and these 2 tabs are going to come, I know this is very, it's so crazy, to the front of that one. But it's also going to have 3 tabs coming out that'll hook to the next page. Does that make sense? So this one's going to have those 2 attached, plus 3 more to attach to the next page. This one's going to have these 3 tabs. See, but it's got 5. I hope this is making sense. We'll go through it again once I get these covered. I'm just showing you because I had a lot of questions about how I was going to, you know, put these back together. So these will be on here like this, these 3. That's all you'll see on the front. When I turn the page, this one will have one, or these will be glued onto this next book. Like that. And then you'll go back to 2, but it'll also have 5 because there's going to be the next group of that'll attach to the next page. Like that is attached, but it's also going to have and you want them kind of the same size. I mean, you can always cut more off later or whatever if you need to. So this one's got the 2 tabs. I didn't realize I picked up those pages like that. But it's also going to have the 3 that are going to attach to the next page. So these ones are going to be attached there. Then you're going to have more tabs to attach to the next page. I hope I'm not making this way confusing. I feel like I am. And it just keeps going like that. So 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 until you get to the end. I mean, you could have as many pages as you want. So that's how it's going to be. I will go through it again, so don't feel like, but I just wanted to tell you guys what the plan was because a lot of people were asking. So today, what I'm going to put on here is this little thing that we made with the tags from last week, 50 stack challenge. The prompt was tags. So that fits very nicely on that page. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. And I'm just going to glue this side. And a lot of you will have seen this hinge style because this is not my idea. Susie at Shabby Soul, I think, has done it. Carol Laws has done it. In fact, Carol did, I'll show you really quick, a tag journal for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. That was fantastic, done that way. So that's just getting 2 sides of glue, and I'm kind of going right into, well, I'm going to leave a little room because we're going to have the whole tab thing happening. And if they go over it a little, that's fine. You just have to think about when you're placing things on these pages, I'm going to have tabs. So you don't want maybe some Tim Holtz Paper Dolls face right where a tab's going to go, obviously, right? So that's just the kind of things that you have to think about when you're doing these. That's all. If it comes onto this a little, I'm fine with that. This is not. It's a little tricky to get it to stick well. I need to get some of those little clamps, those little clippy clamps. I have like bulldog clips, but they're so bulky. Now we're going to put a tag in there. And I think I'll use this one. It needs to be backed. So let's use, I'm going to use, I think I'll use coffee dyed, tea dyed, whatever, paper. I'm just going to let that alone and let it set. I'll put this on here. But yeah, I will go through the tab binding again, like I said. I just want to make sure everybody kind of sees the direction we're going so that if you know how to do that and you want to do your own, you can do that. But I will actually glue them down. I just don't want to do it until I get those other pages decorated. More. It's going to be kind of a slow process because those pages, it takes a while to do those pages. Depending on what we're doing on them. I'm trying to find my good scissors. So I'll probably just call this board book journal from here on out, but I will put it, well, I'll have it have its own playlist. But I'll probably also put it in the Somerset Studio because that's what started it, was the board book that was in the Somerset Studio Magazine. That was the jumping off point. But I'll probably just name it board book for the rest of the time because I don't want to put that whole thing in every time. Title is the word that I'm looking for. That's just not coming to me. I'm going to put some fabric on there. Some blue ticking. I don't know where I got this blue ticking from, but I do like it a lot. Just make a little tab out of that, and I'll stitch around it too. But that paper would be fun to make for a journal it's going to be the page, because it just has a cool texture, like, you know, by itself without being glued down. It would make kind of a neat page in a journal that's kind of crinkly and cool. So, like I said, you don't have to just make the paper for this style or whatever. I think you could do a lot of fun stuff with it. Kind of want something else on there. I don't know what. There's kind of a lot of stuff already happening on here. But maybe we'll just put like a little of that and a word or something. I didn't plan that part. Let's see if I've got one of those little bitty things in here. I like these because a lot of them have the blue on them, and I think they look really good with this kit. And these are the Tim Holtz, the tiny ones. I don't remember what he calls them, but I like those. They come in handy. I know some people don't like them because they're so small, but I really like them. Yeah, that. Sometimes you just need a little thing. You don't need a gigantic thing. Sometimes you do need a gigantic thing. So, yeah. Depending on what the thing is you need. My daughter told me she was eating lunch in her car because they have printing machines that go all the time in there. And she said it's so loud. So she went out to her car. And she's like, I miss my cat. That's the problem when you work from home, because your cat gets to hang out with you all day. I bet he's missing her a lot, because ever since she's had him, she's pretty much had a job where she's home more than gone kind of thing. So he's going to be a little bit lost with that whole project. The first few days he'll be like, oh, okay, but then he's going to... The problem is he starts to be a pill and do obnoxious things. That's the only problem. When we went on the cruise and her friends were, you know, she has roommates, so they all took care of the cat, and he just started to do obnoxious things. Like one night he jumped up on the counter, which he's not supposed to do, the kitchen counter, grabbed a slice of pizza and took off running and took it upstairs. Ugh. They're like, you have food. Why are you stealing pizza? Of all things. He was a feral cat, or, you know, out on his own for a long time. And I think he probably, you know, ate or got in garbage and stuff like that. So he's got some food issues, even though he has food, but which we all understand. It's just he only does that stuff when she's been gone for a while. So anyways, this is the whole first page with a little tag, so you can definitely write on that. And I'll stitch around that. And then we will do the tab binding, and I will go through it again, I promise. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you like this fun crinkly style paper. This one's pretty much, it's a little wet over there, but I think you could make pockets out of it because it's pretty sturdy once you add all those layers onto it. So you could do pockets, or like I said, it'd be fun. Like maybe this piece I'll just add somewhere, hinge it, and it can be like a free page kind of thing. And then maybe the back we can cover with, I don't know, lined paper or something like that. So anyway, just some ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll chat again soon. Love ya. Bye.